I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
And it was a private showing of it, and I was sitting behind some friends I'd invited, and I tapped them on the shoulder just afterwards. I said, "Are you enjoying yourselves?"
Nobody in Hollywood tells the truth quite like Sir Anthony Hopkins. No filter, no false modesty, and no secrets left. These are the moments his shocking honesty left even the biggest stars in the room with nothing to say.
There's an interesting moment in Silence of the Lambs where Lecter makes fun of Clarice's accent. That was not rehearsed. That was just something that Anthony Hopkins came up with. I was an actress learning how to speak in a West Virginia accent, and when I heard him make fun of my accent, it really made me mad.
Today, he's a Knight of the Realm, a two-time Oscar winner, and by many accounts, the greatest living actor. But did you know that as a boy in Wales, his own teachers wrote him off completely? And his classmates had an even crueler name for him.
As a young boy, I wasn't too clever in school, which was a great gift in a way because it made me ambitious to do something with my life.
Everyone who ever shared a stage or a set with Anthony Hopkins seems to agree on one thing.
I once saw Tony Hopkins. We were doing the scene. This was mid-90s or 97 or something. And the scene wasn't working for him. I mean, for me, I thought it was great. But for me, it wasn't working. And he turned around, he turned his back to us all for about 30 seconds and turned back around. And he did it. He just came in. It was just a completely different tone.
All right.
The words were the same, but the tone was different. And it was glorious. And I've always made a point since then to keep trying to mess up the intention of the...
Everything. Roughly 16 minutes of screen time. Most stars would have turned it down. It won him the Oscar, and it began with a sound that was never in the script.
Did you never speak to Anthony Hopkins?
No, never spoke to him. He was scary. I mean, the first day we had a reading, we had like a little read-through, and I got there early, and then I went to the bathroom, and I came back, everybody was sitting down, we did the read-through of the film, and by the end of it, I never wanted to talk to him again. I really avoided him. And then I was eating a tuna fish sandwich. It was the last day, and he came up to me, and I guess he was sidled up to me, and I said, I don't know, I sort of had a tear in my eye. I was like, I was really scared of you. And he said, I was scared of you.
But to truly understand Anthony Hopkins, you have to go back to the morning of December 29th, 1975, when he woke up in a hotel room in Arizona, with no idea how he got there.
So almost 50 years ago, I'm always slightly reluctant to talk about it because I don't want to sound preachy or like a goody two-shoes. But I was drunk, driving my car here in California in a blackout, no clue where I was going. And it was a moment when I realized that I could have somebody or myself, which I didn't care about, but I could have the family in the car, And I realized that I was an alcoholic. And I came to my senses and I said to, it was an ex-agent of mine at this party in Beverly Hills. I said, I need help. So I made the fatal phone call to an intergroup in LA, 12-step program. So we'll send somebody over to meet you. I said, no, I'll come to you. So I went to this intergroup office. So 11 o'clock precisely, looked at my watch. And this is the spooky part. Some deep, powerful thought or voice spoke to me from inside and said, it's all over. Now you can start living. And it has all been for a purpose, so don't forget one moment of it.
50 years sober, not one drink since that morning. And when people ask him the secret of a long life, he doesn't talk about talent or luck or fame. He talks about gratitude, about asking for help, about treating every morning after that one as a gift he never expected to receive. Because if a boy written off at school, a man nearly destroyed at 37, can become all of this, then it is never, ever too late to start again.
More recently, he's had to come to terms with losing his LA home in the fires earlier this year.
We lost the two pianos in the fire. They're all under the rubble. So I play every day. Gotta enjoy life.
Remember the piano? The one the lonely boy from Wales escaped to while the other children laughed? He never stopped playing it. In his 20s, broke, unknown. He wrote a waltz, and then life happened. Hollywood happened, and the music sat in a drawer for almost 50 years. Andre Rieu and his orchestra performing And the Waltz Goes On with Hopkins in the audience. The composer in his 70s, hearing his own melody fill a concert hall for the first time as the crowd rises around him. This summer, at 88 years old, Anthony Hopkins is releasing his very first album. 6 decades of his own compositions, recorded with one of the greatest conductors alive. And the first song? A little piece called Bracken Road, written in 1963 about the fields around his childhood home.
The two-time Oscar winner Anthony Hopkins is adding another milestone to his remarkable career. The legendary actor has now released his first classical music single after signing a record deal as a composer. The track titled Bracken Road offers a glimpse into an album that brings together music that he's written over the past 6 decades.
And even Hollywood's toughest stars melt around him. Just ask Bryan Cranston, who opened his messages one morning after Breaking Bad ended and nearly fell out of his chair.
Now, apparently, this is a true story, Sir Anthony Hopkins binge-watched all of Breaking Bad. Yeah. And binge-watched it, and he loved it so much he wrote a glowing fan letter to the show's lead actor, Bryan Cranston. Check this out. He says, this is a quote, "Your performance as Walter White was the best acting I have ever seen, ever. Congratulations and my deepest respect. You are truly a great, great actor," which is remarkable.
The man who terrified the world as Hannibal Lecter spends his late 80s writing fan mail, playing piano for his cat, and dancing in his kitchen for millions of strangers. A few years ago, Anthony Hopkins finally wrote the story of his life. And the title he chose wasn't for the critics. It wasn't for Hollywood. It was a message to a small boy in Wales that everybody laughed at.
So I get over that. That's what I've had to do, is get over the, whatever troubles. And I carry a photograph of myself in my phone when I was a little boy. And I was a little confused kid, as we all were. And I look at him and I said, "We did okay, kid." We did okay.
That's 88 years old, 50 years sober. 2 Oscars, 1 knighthood, and his first album on the way. Still working, still laughing, and still telling the truth about everything, especially himself. So tell me in the comments, which Anthony Hopkins story stayed with you? And if you love legends who say exactly what they think, The Man with No Name and The Man with the Whip are waiting for you right here.